even when I'm down. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the ground. I got big dreams, gonna make them true.
Yes, we've got big dreams here in the Genius Lab. Thanks for showing up today. Today, we're going to talk about visualization. This is a really fun section of my MOVE program. And MOVE is a coaching program that I developed a few years ago that I found was super effective for the audience that I work for, because I have a combination of mainstream corporate people, and then I have a lot of alternative practitioners. And the thing that's common, regardless of who you are and what you do, is that you need to be motivated. You need to know how to find motivation, sustain motivation. You need to be organized if you're going to accomplish anything. You have to have a clear vision of where you're going and a plan of execution. And that's what MOVE is. M-O-V-E. Motivation, organization, visualization, and execution. And I call it move into the magic, because when you add these four things, I call them the four pillars of success. When you get in touch with all four of these things and have them working in your life, things start to happen that are literally magical. It's unbelievable. Today, we're going to be on the V. The last couple of podcasts, we've talked about motivation. We talked about organization in a couple of different ways. And today we're going to talk about visualization, because if you don't have a clear vision of where you want to go, you will never get there. And if you do have a clear vision, everything changes. Okay? Being able to see your desired outcome clearly, okay, is absolutely necessary if you're going to achieve it. There's an old saying by Lewis Carroll. He was the author of Alice in Wonderland. And this kind of surprised me, because I've heard this saying a lot and did not know that it was published this long ago. He said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So this is not a new concept. This is something that was published back in the mid-1800s. You know, I remember the song by George Harrison that had that in it. And I'm like, wow, when I started doing some research on this for the program, I was like, wow, this is cool. This happened a long time ago. And it's kind of funny, in contemporary society, we see this concept supported as well. Carl Jung, the famous father of modern psychology, had a visualization process called active imagination. And this is where you visualize something before it happens, or you go through a process of visualization to eradicate a particular condition, psychological condition. And it's very, very powerful. And then in the 60s, Maxwell Maltz came together with psychocybernetics. And this is a book that it completely defined the mind-body connection as a core in succeeding or attaining your personal goals. Maltz was a plastic surgeon, and it's really interesting, because what he found was that many of his clients, or his patients, actually, after he talked to them and worked through some psychocybernetics, didn't actually need the plastic surgery at all. Through the visualizations, what they wanted to happen from the plastic surgery already happened. So that was a long time ago. It was over 50 years ago. And the thing that's so powerful is that it's super applicable today. Okay. And when I'm talking about visualization, I'm not just talking about seeing the thing like a movie with no sound, or even a movie with sound. I'm also talking about your desired feelings. Okay, Danielle Laporte does some really powerful work on following your feeling. Like, instead of what do I want, like I want a Ferrari 488 Spider. Well, how do you want to feel? You know, why do you want that? And usually we want something like that because we want to feel a certain way. Maybe we want to feel affluent or exclusive or powerful, or we just want to freaking have fun. And Ferrari's like one of the most badass cars on the planet, and that'd be pretty fun to drive. Everybody's got a different reason for why they want what they want. But the key is visualize the thing and then visualize the feeling. Because what often happens is people, and you see this with people of great accomplishment that have miserable lives. Okay, one year, actually the year that I was developing Move, and I don't recall, I want to say, what is it? It's 2021, coming in on 2021. It was probably 2018 when I was researching for this. And gosh, it might even been more. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The point is, of decamillionaires that died, 26% of the deaths of decamillionaires, these are people that are worth over $10 million, 26% of those deaths were caused by suicide. And that was a real eye-opener because I'm thinking, man, if I had $10 million, I'd be so happy I wouldn't have a care in the world. Well, apparently that's not true. So at least not for everybody. So it was fascinating to me. So this whole idea of looking at what you want, visualizing it, and then associating it with how you want to feel when you have it. I have a friend who does very well in business, and he bought a lake house, and his goal for his lake house is to have a place to bring people and to have friends collaborate and to bring music. And, it's really cool. It's not like, hey man, I want to be better than everybody else and have my lake house. I want a place where I can help people, where I can take them out on my boat, where we can have fun, where we can provide everything for them. And it's really cool because when you're with him, you get that same kind of feeling. So think about that. What do you want to create? Get a clear view of it, a clear vision, and then how do you want to feel when you have it? Now, there are 3 basic principles of creation that involve visualization. Okay. One is what you focus on, you feed. Anyone who's followed me for any period of time has heard me say this a million times. I learned this in a Qigong class. Francesco Garipoli, an amazing Qigong teacher, taught this to me, and we were on Kauai, and we were at his place doing Qigong, and he goes, Yi Dao Qi Dao. And I'm like, okay, what the hell was that? Yi Dao, where the mind goes, Qi, which is energy, Qi Dao. The energy flows. So where the mind goes, the energy flows. Okay? So my question is, where is your mind? So whatever you spend your time, the most time thinking about, is what you're going to create in your life. Plain and simple. If you want to achieve a particular desired outcome, that's what you should spend most of your time thinking about and feeling into. Okay, so the first principle of creation is what you focus on, you feed. The second one is energy attracts like energy. So the stronger you feel about something, okay, the more energy you create, the more energy you attract. Okay, so that's why this feeling thing is so important. What you find sometimes is that you think you want something and you can't seem to attract it. And then then it's important to look at some other things that we'll get into later, like your self-esteem, your level of worthiness. There's how do you feel about yourself? Because you can say you want something, but if you can't attract it, clearly you're not getting your energy in alignment. So there must be another thing to look at. So number 1, Yi Dao Qi Dao, what you focus on, you feed. 2, energy attracts like energy. 3, authenticity is the key to creation. Okay. The more authentic your desire, the more fulfilling the outcome. If you're trying to do something to gain respect, admiration, people worshiping you, all this kind of stuff, it can be bittersweet. It can be catastrophic, actually. When you think about the number of movie stars and musicians who have committed suicide or who have died tragically of drug overdoses, authenticity is really important. And if you are authentic and you are authentically seeking the thing that you desire and you're in alignment with why you desire it, I guarantee you things will happen faster than you can possibly believe. So think about, I'm just going to touch on a couple of things. Number one, think about how you want to feel. So visualize what it is that you want, one of your goals, or maybe it's, this is what I want my life to be like in general. I wrote a book, Release Your Shit and Reclaim Your Power. And in there we do a visualization. It's called A Day Represents Your Life. And what you do is you go through the day and visualize how you want it to happen before it happens. So first thing in the morning, grab your cup of coffee, and the first thing you do is start to focus on what you want your day to look like. And as you project and focus your desired outcome for the day, okay, those are all baby steps that, a year later, you've done 365 of these things. You've attracted a lot of freaking energy. Now, if you've stayed focused and you continue to clarify, you've probably already created what you want. If you haven't, you're probably all over the place. So the thing about visualization is you want to be clear, you want to be authentic so that you can hold that vision in a powerful way. And one of the things that helped me, and I'm going to wrap up with this because I want to keep it under 15 minutes so that you don't get bored with me. I always hate those hour podcasts. I'm just like, oh my God, you guys, I got to take them in chunks. Anyway, that's why I do 15-minute. I want to talk to you about the 7 keys of well-formed outcomes. Okay? So I'm going to go through the 7 steps. I'm going to go through them quickly because tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm going to do another podcast on visualization where I'm going to go deeper into them. But basically, there are 7 keys to a well-formed outcome. And this is number 1, know what you want. Okay? Again, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And you've got to know what you want in a positive, proactive way. Number 2. How will you know when you have it? In other words, I've talked to some people that come with these, well, I just want to be an amazing person. Well, what the hell does that look like? Okay. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? Like somebody said, well, what does success smell like? How about an interior of a Mercedes-Benz or a Ferrari or a Maserati? How about that? What does it sound like? Well, how about the exhaust, that throaty exhaust of a Ferrari? Okay, that's how it can sound. Or maybe it sounds like your water splashing up against the side of your yacht. Whatever. Look at what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? Activate as many senses as possible. Okay. 3, can it be initiated and maintained by you? If you cannot affect it, you cannot contain it. You cannot own it, plain and simple. Can it be initiated and maintained by you? Okay. 4, define the context. Where would you be when you achieve this? Who would you be with? What would it feel like? And what does it look like when you go buy your new car or buy your new house? Who are you with? What's the context of it? The more resources you build around it, the clearer the vision gets. Okay. What resources do you need to achieve it? Okay. What do you already have? What do you need to acquire? And where and how do you get what you need? Okay. Is it ecological? Okay. This was an interesting one for me to look at. What would you lose to achieve this, if you achieve this outcome? Okay. Take into consideration the impact on your time, relationships, freedom, sense of self, and then what would you gain by having it? And the last step is, what is the first small step you need to take to get this rolling? Okay. When, where, and with whom? Once you take the first step, momentum starts to build. And the second step gets easier, and the third, and so on and so forth. So think about it. What is it that you want to create? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Activate your senses. Go through the 7 steps to a well-formed outcome. And let's watch you start creating. Because in the Genius Lab, we're all about realizing your greatness. And part of realizing your greatness is being the master manifester that you are. So, check it out. Do the work. I'll have some more for you on the next podcast. In the meantime, keep looking up.